Hello, good morning, everyone. So successfully we completed 2 chapters. So today we are going to discuss third unit, which is JNT Karnataka syllabus R19, Java programming. So third chapter is all about arrays and inheritance concepts. So we have a prior knowledge of what is an array and something all because we already learned about C programming and then C++ and then Python programming. So arrays are nothing but the same concept here, same declaration, same like storing of arrays and everything. It is pretty much same to the concepts of the arrays that we learned in previous chapter. So that means previous languages. But what here something new is the declaration and the allocation of arrays, allocation of memory organization. So those plays a major difference here. Okay, so we'll try to learn all these differentiations on arrays. Okay, so let's come to the contents. So these are the contents that we have on arrays. According to your syllabus, he has given some introduction, then declaration and initialization of arrays, storage of arrays in computer memory, how to access the elements of an array, what are the operations that I can perform on array, okay, and copying from one array to another array, how to dynamically change the size of the array. This is somewhat new here. Dynamically, we can change the array size in between the program. Whereas in previous programming languages, once you fix the once you declare an array of particular size, we cannot modify further. But in Java, there is a provision that we can change the size of an array dynamically. Okay, so we can change the size of the array in between the program, in between the execution of the program. Okay, so that is what something new here that we can know here. Then sorting of an arrays, how to sort the elements of an array. Then search for values in arrays. Okay, so search for values in arrays. Then we have a class array. Okay, there is a class called arrays in Java. So with the help of that arrays, we can do something. Okay, we can already perform some operations on arrays. Then 2-dimensional arrays, then arrays of varying lengths, then 3-dimensional arrays. Then something we have like vectors. Okay, with the help of arrays, we can define vectors. So all these different concepts that we are going to cover. Okay, so in this session, as many possible as we can cover the contents. Okay, so right. So you can see the definition. Array is a group of like-typed variables that are referred by a common name. So arrays of any type can be created and may have one or more dimensions. Okay. So what is it basically an array is? Array is a group of similar data types or a similar values. As we know the definition, array is a collection of similar data values, whether it may be all the integers or all the float values or all the characters. Okay, but it should be a group of like typed variables. That means similar variables, and that should be referred by a common name. All the variables that can be referred by a common name. Okay, a group of values having only a single name. Okay. The next thing is array of an type can be created and may have one or more dimensions. So basically we try to learn initially the one dimensional array which has only one subscript. Okay. Later on we try to learn about two dimensional and three dimensional. So next thing is a specific element in the array is accessed by its index. The array offers a convenient means of grouping related information. Okay. So I said that array is a collection of different elements, right? So when array is a collection of different elements, then we have group of elements, not one element. It has some bunch of elements which share a common name. Okay. So, but with the help of only one common name, how can I refer all the elements? So that's why there is a provision for this, which is called as an index. Okay, so we try to store the values at a particular index. Okay, so with that index, we try to refer each and every element which is stored in the array. Right? Next. So that's what I told you. We try to learn first one dimensional array, then we go with the two dimensional and three dimensional arrays. So one dimensional array is essentially a list of like type variables. To create an array, you must create an array variable of the desired type. Okay, so that is what here. It is a declaration of an array. How can I declare the array? So first what I need to write is, I need to write the type. Okay, so if you want to have an array, so what are the values that you are going to store in that array? Are you going to store an integer values or float values or character values or some other values? What are the values that you are going to store? And all the values must be of similar type, similar data type. So first of all, we need to mention the type. Okay, type, and then any valid identifier. The name of the array should be any valid identifier. So we can give a name to the array, whatever the name we want, but we must follow some rules because we cannot accept any kind of symbols or any different values while declaring the arrays. So while giving the name of the array, you must take care that it should follow the rules of an identifier. Okay. So what are the rules of an identifier? It must start with an alphabet or underscore or a dollar symbol, and no white space should be allowed, and no keyword should be given as a name of the array. Okay, like that, there are some different rules that we have for identifier. Those rules you should, we must kept in mind that while we declaring an array. Next one is okay. So here, what is the type indicates and what is the variable name indicates is telling you the type declares the element type, also called as the base type of the array. The element type determines the data type of each element that compromises the array. Okay, so definitely you should give the data type and that only those type of values you must store in that array. Okay, then the element type of the array determines the what type of data that array will hold. So that's what I told you now. That element type, the type indicates what type of data you're going to store in that array. So you must keep in mind that whatever the type you're giving here, whether if you are giving integer, then you store only integer values in the array. If you are giving a character, you store only character values in the array. Okay, that is how we can declare a one-dimensional array. Okay, here is a small example. So here the type of the array is int. That means this array holds only the integer values. Int space, you need to give some space, one space there, then followed by name of the array. So here the name has taken him month underscore days. The name of the array is month underscore days. It's somewhat lengthy name, but you should make sure that that array, whatever the values that you are going to store in that array, that will reflect the name. Okay, so month underscore days. So what might you can expect the values to be stored in the array? Obviously months of a months in a calendar. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 like that. Okay, so here is a small example. Int space month, and then is followed by an underscore. So it might not be clear here, but there is an underscore in between month and days. So whenever you're joining two words, definitely there should be an underscore. Okay, don't leave it as a space. If you leave it as a space, it will treat it as only this one. Only it will take the first part. Okay, the second part will not be considered. So that's why you need to give underscore in between two words. Okay, then followed by square brackets, open and closed brackets, and then semicolon. So this is the example of an array where you can store some different values of integer type. So has given some points here. You can observe, although this declaration establishes the fact that month underscore days is an array variable, no array actually exists. Okay, so you should not give two array names, two same names for the two arrays. So make sure that the name should not exist before in your program. Next, the value of the month and month underscore days is set to null, which represents an array with no value. So initially, this declaration will tells you it's an array. We are not mentioning how many elements I want to store or everything. Okay, size is not mentioned here. Only the array declaration is declared with 0 size. Okay, there is no size set to that. Okay, then how can I allocate the values into this? So that can be done with the help of a new operator. There is a special operator which allocates memory for the array. Okay, so that's what he is trying to tell you in this last point. New is a special operator that allocates the memory. If you declare like this, it will only declare a variable. Okay, it is not initialized. The values are not initialized in the array. It's just a declaration. Okay, whenever we give a new operator, then only memory allocates for that array. Okay, how can it would be? You can see that. So one-dimensional arrays are generally once we declare the array, declare చేసిన తర్వాత దాన్ని మెమరీ అలొకేట్ అవ్వాలంటే మనం ఏం రాయాలంటే ఫస్ట్ వేరియబుల్ array name is equal to, there is a operator called new. Okay, then type, what is the type of an array, then in bracket you need to mention the size. Okay, so this is the thing you need to keep in mind. Array name, first of all, array name is equal to new data type, sorry, new operator. The new is an operator here. In Java, new is an operator. Space, type, what is the type of an array, what type of values you want to store in that array. Then in bracket, mention the size, how many elements you want to store. Okay, so that's what he's trying to tell you here. The type specifies the type of data being allocated. Size specifies the number of elements in the array, and the array variable is the array variable that is linked to the array. That means name of the array. So that is, to use new to allocate an array, you must specify the type and number of elements to allocate. న్యూ వాడాలంటే మనం ఏం చేయాలి, కంపల్సరీ దాని టైప్ చెప్పాలి అండ్ సైజ్ ఎన్ని ఎలిమెంట్స్ కావాలో చెప్పాలి. ఓకే, the elements in the array allocated by new will automatically be initialized to 0. ఓకే, సో ఇనిషియల్ గా మీరు ఒకవేళ సైజ్ కనుక మెన్షన్ చేయకపోతే ఆటోమేటిక్ గా అది సైజ్ మెన్షన్ చేసిన తర్వాత అందులో అన్నిట్లో బేసిక్ డిఫాల్ట్ వాల్యూస్ ఆర్ 0. యు హ్యావ్ 0 వాల్యూస్. Okay, if you then if you want to store some values, then we can allocate that in a particular index. Okay, so see here. So ఇందాక మనం తీసుకున్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏంటి, int month days, month_days, ఇది array declaration. సో ఈ డిక్లరేషన్ అయిన తర్వాత మనం వాల్యూస్ ని స్టోర్ చేసుకోవాలి అంటే దెన్ వీ నీడ్ టు రైట్ లైక్ దిస్, నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద అరే ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు న్యూ, ద ఆపరేటర్ న్యూ, అండ్ దెన్ ఫాలోడ్ బై టైప్. సో యూ వాంట్ టు స్టోర్ ఇంటిజర్ వాల్యూస్ ఇన్ దిస్, సో int bracket 12, you want 12 locations. Okay, so how many locations you want? 12 locations. So this is the basic statement you need to write for the allocation of the array. Okay, sir, my previous ga chesina enti manam adi declaration, it's only a declaration. int space month_days of అని చెప్పి వదిలేసాం అక్కడ. So that is a declaration of the array. Okay, so when you want to allocate a particular memory and how many bytes you want, how many locations you want, that you need to be mentioned in this statement. So month_days is equal to new, there is operator new, and then followed by the type. Okay, what type of values you want to store, and in the bracket you need to specify the number of locations you want. Okay, so this statement executes month_days will refer to an array of 12 integers. Further, all the elements in the array are initialized to 0. So initialized to 0. So here we have 2 steps. Okay, one second. Okay, so we have 2 steps here. It is a 2-step process. Okay, so what I am doing is, first I am writing month_days. Okay, then simply I am declaring this variable, and after that I am writing the allocation. That means how to store the values is equal to new operator and then space followed by type, what type of values you want to store, and then give the size here. Okay, so it is a 2-step process. Okay, 2 steps. I have written this in a 2 steps. This is called as a declaration. And this can be called as memory allocation. Okay, so 2-step process lo manam ee array declaration anedi chesamu. There is a question that can't we do these 2 steps in a one statement? Let's see. Okay, right, so here's the note you study here. So obtaining an array is a 2-step process. First, you must declare a variable of the desired array type, and then second, you must allocate the memory that will hold the array. Okay, because Java, all arrays were dynamically allocated. Right, so there is a small example where you are giving some values here. So how many days in a month? Okay, when you see the program here, so I'll just copy paste for you, and I'll try to execute also. See, the name of the class is array. Then in that you are writing public static void main string args of, and then you are declaring an array month underscore days. Okay, and you are allocating some memory new int of 12. So 12 values I require. So month underscore days 0 means January. January contains how many days? 31. February 28. Okay, so 2 31. That is 2 means March. So first value always will be 0. Index value starts with 0 to 11. So totally 12 values you have, but you have 0 to 11. Index start with always 0. As you know that array index always starts with a 0. Okay, then 0. January contains 31 days, February 28 days, and so on. Okay, each and every month and its associated days. How many days it has? So all the here we have listed. So month days. In December and January we have some all the values. So if you want to see system.out.println, April contains April, which index we have? 0 is January, 1 is February, 2 is March, and 3 is April. So 3 is April here. So month underscore days of 3, you will get the month April has how many days, that will be displayed here. Okay, so when you want to save this and execute, so name of the class is array. So I'm storing that in array.java. I'll execute the program. Java say array.java. April has 30 days. Okay, so as you can see here, April month has 30 days. That's what he has displayed. Okay, so the program contains all the values. So first of all, we are declaring an array, and then we are allocating some memory. That means how many locations that we want, we are declaring that. And then for each and every location, we are giving the values. So January, that is in month, that is in index 0, that we are assigning the value 31. So like that, February, March, April, May, June, all the months that we are assigning the values to that. Okay, so this is one way of accessing the arrays. So always index refers to the value. Okay, when you want to store when you want to refer particular month details, that means how many days that we have in that particular month, you need to refer to through that index. Okay, so always index starts with a 0. Right. Okay, right. See here. Arrays can be initialized when they are declared. Okay, the process is much the same as that we use initialize the simple types. An array initializer is the list of comma separate expressions surrounded by curly brackets. See, in the previous example, we have given the values of the arrays by these statements. Okay, so how many statements I need to write for this? 12 statements. So which is starts with 0 to 11. Okay, so for the 0 index, you are storing 31. For the 1 index, you are storing 28. For the 2 index, you are storing the value 31. Okay, again 3 index 30, 4 index 31. Like that, you are given the values. This will take so much of time and so much of steps included. Okay, so we can minimize this by a single declaration. Int month underscore days is equal to, you can give all the values at a single stretch. Okay, but here the bracket should be curly brackets. You need to mention the curly brackets here. Okay, so like this is also can be done. ఇలా కూడా మనం వాల్యూస్ ని ఇనిషియలైజ్ చేయొచ్చు, ఆర్ ఇలా కూడా చేయొచ్చు. ఇలా చేస్తే ఏంటంటే it takes so many steps, but here we are covering all the things in a single step. So obviously here we don't need to mention the size. No need to mention the size. So the automatically 0 index will take 31 value, 1 index will take 28, 2 index will take 31, 3 index will take 30. Like that it will continue. Okay, and here I am not giving the size also, but how can it take the size depending on the values? So how many values we have given here? 12 values we have given. Automatically the size will be declared as 12. Okay, so when you execute this program also, you'll get the same thing. This also the same thing, but only difference is here we are initializing manually each and every index values. We are initializing manually, but here what we are giving is all the values are given at a single statement by providing the curly brackets. Okay, that is what the advantage here. Okay, next. See, there are different alternative definitions also, alternative declarations also. Java supports these kind of alternative declarations. Okay, so what I can say here is, I'll just show you. For days, this is what the declaration is, right? Okay, so this declaration can be written like this also, month underscore days. This can also be done, right? So this can also be done. So this subscript can be written before the name of the array. Okay, before the name of the array also we can write the subscript. Similarly, two-dimensional arrays, so if you want to declare a multi-dimensional arrays, so let us suppose I have a name of the array A, then I have two subscript here. Okay, so this is a multi-dimensional array, as you know that. So this can also be declared in this way. First you can give the subscript and then followed by the name of the array. Okay, give a slide. So this slide all is about how to declare an array. See, this is also can be done. One more point. So this can also be done, followed by declaration and then name of the array and then under subscript. Okay, this can also be done. So likewise, we can declare 3 different types. But here, with one dimensional array, we have only 2 different types. So I can declare in this way, or I can declare in this way. The better way is we declare in this way, because we are very used to that. Already we know how to declare these arrays in a C and C program, C and C++. So we'll follow the same thing. Right? About the declarations of the arrays. Okay. Right. So that is the end of the session. The remaining concepts I'll discuss in the next class.